it's SK95. Welcome back to more Shadow Generations. Last time we finished off the achievements Can't Touch This and also Untouchable. This time we're going to be only focusing today on Gerald's diary. We have all the pages. Don't need to worry about anything about this diary. Let's start it off with going to the exterior of the pages. Technically speaking, pressing A will cause it to read. Whatever you read will translate to whatever cursive writing that he has. So, let's start with page 1. From Archival and Questions Department to CMD Abraham Tawa. Commander, your request for tangible evidence of the Ark's incident 50 years ago produced very low results. Your predecessor was quite thorough erasing it up as a cover-up operation. However, Professor Gerald's personal diary managed to survive. Ironically, we have Dr. Eggman to thank for all of it. The child was covered during the investigation of Dr. Eggman's stronghold following the last incident with the Ark. Unfortunately, time and tragedy have not been kind to the journal. What you're holding now is all that remains of the original book. I'm afraid there's no way of recovering the missing pages, nor can I restore the damaged or retracted elements. It's a pity, but I would very much like to get greater insight into Gerald and Maria's lives. Regards T. I take great pride in my research and discoveries. Few men are labeled as genius in their own time, but nothing compares to my pride in my boys. And they both graduated summa cum laude, and in record time, no less. They have their doctorates in no time. It seems that my passions for archaeology and robotics are split between them, but I guess that's what makes them chips off the old block. Ho ho ho! I cannot wait to see what boots they bring to the world. Entry 162. I cannot believe how much time has passed. It feels like yesterday I was celebrating my boys becoming men, and now I'm a grandfather. Her name is blank, and she is perfect in every way. She brings a smile to everyone's faces and everyone falls in love with her the moment they lay eyes on her. If nothing else, she is my legacy. Everything I do from this day forward, I do for her. Entry 170. I discovered the ingredients of an ancient ring I found the previous day in the blank jungle and calculated the location of a fabulous flying paradise. I went alone to verify my findings and rewarded with the spectacle of an angelic island. The island was vast, lush, and hosted a number of biomes in close proximity to each other. I believe I could see an entire floating city at one point. Most majestic of all was a shrine devoted to what appears to be the massive blank. Could this be the legendary blank? I dare not approach or overstay my welcome. As much as I want to explore every inch of the island, I feel like it was a sacred land. Just setting foot on its soil felt taboo. I don't know if any civilization remains. The land is vast, and my stay was brief. But the majesty of that emerald in the shrine will stay with me for the rest of my life. Entry 185. I'm about to embark on the most ambitious project of my life. The world's Earth. Bleh. The Earth's first orbital space colony will be in the 9th wonder of the world. It'll be a place of science, nurturing all manner of ways to improve our home below. Seeing as it is a vessel meant to preserve life and amidst the harshness of space, I've christened it the Ark. It shall be a vessel to pass on the value of life and peace to the next generation. And while most of the megastructure will be hidden within the base planetoid, I may have gone a little self-indulgent in the design. My only real concern is the source of funding. While the United Federation supports us, most of the financing coming from blank. I have no illusions about what they'll want, but I'm building the Ark to preserve life, not end it. While I have my concerns, I'm a genius, so I'm sure I'll figure something out when the time comes. Entry 389. Life and work aboard the Ark has been exciting, for the good and for the ill. As a positive, we've acquired one of the legendary blank for our research. They're said to hold unlimited power, and permanently test some effect of space-time. bending reality to one's will. Imagine the possibilities. Sadly, Blank is doing just that, but in all the wrong ways. Their desire for weapons research is becoming increasingly over and decreasingly polite. I used my clout to get a direct line to the president to ask him to intervene. He said he would, but then asked me for something equally obscene. He wants me to discover a means of immortality. I aim to improve life, not prevent it. Everything gives way to entropy. The more concept is laughable. It's intangible as a shadow. I refused him outright. In retrospect, perhaps I could have been more diplomatic about it. I find myself on edge. Political pressures aside, I'm told Blank is sick with no clear diagnosis. I wish I could look into it myself, but I'm needed aboard the Ark. Hopefully this will pass and she'll recover soon. She's too precious to be left to suffer. Entry, Blank. The all-powerful, Blank. The powerful, held by the power to bind the soul. Blank. The Blank destroyed the entire... Entry 402. I've discovered the most interesting session from the warehouse. I discovered her my son. Blank. We're being quite the archaeologist. I believe it was some sort of puppet or robot made by ancient people. At first, I didn't think anything of it. But when I was experimenting on the Blank, it began to move. This suggests the possibility that even ancient civilizations can harness the power of Blank. When I was researching various papers related to the Blank and this robot, I discovered it was a possibility that this robot was something incredible. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this robot may be the cause of the destruction of the fourth great civilization. I'm not sure I'm not sure I believe it just yet, though. Entry 407. I am no longer able to ignore the possibility that this robot did in fact destroy the fourth great civilization. I have discovered a stone tablet that explains as much. According to the tablet, when the vigor falls from the heavens and the stone of gods is joined, all that exists will become one again. Though it is difficult to believe, this robot has been watching my movements and mimicking all that I do. I'm amazed by my scans of this being. Surprisingly, reams and reams of data scrolled and caused my most powerful computer to crash. Most intriguing was the data was all about melee combat and weapons of that age. Evidently, if this being is ever restored to its former state, he will put all that data to use and recreate all the weaponry and combat abilities that it once had. And that's not all. My guesses are correct. He also has the ability to absorb modern weaponry as well. What have I done? I have uncovered a horrible weapon. Entry 428. It has been a trying time to say the least. Blank was diagnosed with neuroimmunity deficiency syndrome. There is no cure. Yet I pulled some springs and had her aboard the Ark for treatment and assessment. The low gravity environment should keep her symptoms manageable. Her family has been less than enthusiastic with my decision. Despite everything, she remains the most positive person in the room. Most of the staff left their families on the Earth, so I was worried she'd feel lonely. Instead, she became the adoptive daughter of every researcher on the Ark. Moreover, she just came like a big sister to the little Blank. The Ark's happy little incident over the past few years. The president kept promoting me the request to unlock the mysteries of life. Perhaps with his funding and clout, I can find means to cure Blank while chasing that shadow. Interesting thing about this diary, you see the bottom right? That is actually a mini biolizard. Blank has dropped all pretenses to mending weapons research in exchange for continued funding. I promised the president I'd work on Project Shadow, but he can't even get them to back down. It appears I have to give a gun to my head on the matter. Oh. Years ago, I discovered records of an ancient god of destruction called Chaos. It was said to command the fury and force of the ocean, or something to that effect. I began to develop a basic AI-driven apparatus that can generate cohesion in water and produce controlled shapes for basic actions. I told the top brass that these can turn into any body of water into an autonomous weapon. Deep down, I'm hoping that can be used to be easily deployed to search and rescue units. Imagine a flood backs on itself to aid those in rubble. Entry 530. Research into Project Shadow is in full swing. The first step is learning how to siphon Blank emerald energy and apply it to the living tissue. To that end, I developed Chaos Drives. Direct application seems too harsh. Any organism that could directly interface with an emerald would be fearsome indeed. The initial tests were promising, so we are now moving on to the next stage in trials. I'll be using salamanders for their regenerative abilities and manageable sizes. We begin applying chaos drives to the test subject and see how its vitals respond. And to keep Blank from breathing down my neck, I'm supplying them with chaos drives as batteries for their mechanical division. I loathe powering engines of war, but sacrifice must be made if I am able to save Blank. I'll figure out something in the long run. I'm a genius after all. So as you see on the actual thing, this is how he decided and studied how to create the artificial chaos on the Ark, as well as the chaos drives from SI2. And some things did not pan out too well on the left. Entry 658. Project Shadow has reached an impasse. The subject exhibits accelerated growth to the point it cannot support its own biological systems. Developed an external life support system to compensate, but it will need to be upgraded and redesigned as the subject continues to grow. The way it thrashes and roars. It is uncontrollable. Furthermore, it's generating unexplainable energetic reactions. Is this an expression of the Blank power? Can a living thing produce such energy? Can it be controlled? There are too many questions, and unfortunately, the answers lie in the Bio-Lizard's life. I'll keep it alive and comfortable as I can until I have the answers I need. I found a region in the Ark that should be able to safe house it while we continue our experiments. I am not sure I'll tell Blank. I don't want to lie to her, but I think the truth is too cruel. That's what happened to the Bio-Lizard. Entry 589. Blank is growing into a lovely young woman. It breaks my heart that someone as bright and energetic as her is diminished by disease. There are no visible effects, and I've caught my fellow racers muttering at each other, doubting her illness. It is infuriating. I find all my reason to restraint vanishes when she is sighted. Yet she remains unending front of positivity. Even on her worst days where fear and pain take soul, she tells me she endures for the day she can return home. She has total faith in me and that Project Shadow will cure her. Her family back on Earth have no such faith. It has been so long. Some of the researchers actually think she was born here. Her family will either wants her to be better or wants her home. I can do neither. Somehow their scorn is harsher than the government or the military's increasing pressure on more weapons research. I'm a genius. I'll have to figure this out. And the origins of Project Shadow. Entry 616. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I am a desperate man. The Black Comet returned to the Earth on its 50-year orbit. I knew he actually harbored Blank. Aboard it was Blank. Somehow he knew about Blank and seemed impressive with my work. He offered me a fast-shooting deal. I accepted. Using his DNA, I was able to overcome every hurdle of Project Shadow I put before me. A small steady blip that I developed perfect interactive chaos energy. The small steady bleep I developed can perfectly interactive Blank energy. Blank wants me to craft a herald for his future invasion. Blank wants Project Shadow to generate undying soldiers for them. I played them both for fools. When I launched Project Shadow initially, I named it with scorn and mockery. I was trying to grab hold of an intangible goal. Later, it sounded appropriately villainous as I was toying the fundamentals of life itself. But then Blank looked upon the infinite medicine and put things into a whole new perspective. A shadow tells you which way to go find the light. In an instant, she cut through all my pessimism and doubt and filled me with hope. Blank, as she come to call him, will not be some dark creature, but a champion of life and hope. I would not have seen it that if not for Blank. She is truly a remarkable person who can do great and wondrous things for the world. I must save her, no matter the cost. And entry 633. Now I understand why this being was named Gizoid. In ancient tongue, it means everything. According to the stone tablet, if the Gizoid establishes a link with someone, the Gizoid will swear loyalty to that person. Perhaps it still lacks Blank energy, but it's been saying the word link to me in broken tones. He went on to explain, show your true strength and I shall obey. I am all things and all shall become to me. As I suggested, I brought it before my collection of model guns and fired them all. Then suddenly it said, I shall follow your every command and never leave your side. Since then, it refuses to listen to anyone but me. While it still fears and Western destruction, it remains in my control. At least it won't be used for evil. However, if someone with evil intentions ever forms a link with the Gizoid, I don't want to think what would happen. I must research how one can reestablish a link with the Gizoid. Entry 640. The upper echelon is going crazy. Perhaps they aim to freeze Project Cell. Soon the ultimate life form, Blank, will be completed. Declaration of my granddaughter's is also imminent. I cannot just let them stop my study at this point, because I'm the only one who can save my granddaughter's life. Entry 642. The higher-ups are threatening to shut down the research facility. I have no choice but to hand them the Gizoid to buy more time for my research. I try to carefully command not to absorb any dangerous technologies. However, I have heard the other researchers have been making Gizoid absorb weapons. Apparently, the way to cause Gizoid to form a new link is to show a power that surpasses of its former master. When it supposes me there, I can't risk losing Blank. Entry 650. The top rests still aren't satisfied. The Gizoid isn't big enough or flashy enough for them. Fine. I developed a weapon I'm calling the Blank. It taps directly into the Arc Central Reactor to produce an unethical degree of firepower. They'll love it! But to use it on any target on Earth would destroy the world. They'll never be able to fire it. Checkmate. It will, however, be the perfect tool to deal with Blank when they return. Eclipse means shadow. This is Blank's cannon. My gift to him in a battle he never asked for. I'm so sorry. As you know, that is why Gerald created the actual Eclipse cannon, as well as the fact that Gizoid is actually a Mel. However, more on brighter things. Entry 651. Blank doesn't know the full scope of what Blank has been designed for, but she understands she'll be under tremendous strain. She has been conceptualized as a number of accessories that will help him focus his power and aid in his mobility. Also researching chaos control to see if I can get an understanding before Blank awakens. The power to stop time and space is incredible. I don't want to have him have to learn its intricacies on his own. Deep down, I know the progress is superficial, tangible at best. Large issue remains. Blank, the president, and Blank, my family. I believe that there is a rift growing between my sons. My love for them shouldn't be a diverse issue. I'm running out of time. As you see on the left, that is actually the time-stopping machines from SA2 when you reach the cannon's core. And on the right, Maria designed not just the inhibitor rings, but the air shoes Shadow uses when he moves, using Chaos Energy to move and accelerate his movement. And now, time for even higher Happy Armor notes. Entry 670. It's been a whirlwind of events as of late. Project Cell is complete, and Blank has awakened. I pre-programmed a great deal of data into his mind, but his inability to paralyze it out and apply it to his situation is remarkable. All of his vitals are strong, and there seems to be no sign of instability or mutation. He stands in stank contrast to the monster we sealed below decks. But also of the success of the physical and mental prowess comes second to his relationships with Blank. I hope they get along, but it's far better than that. She's his guide into the world, and he is his stalwart protector, or companion. Her stalwart companion. What's wrong with me? Never have I seen such instant mutual friendship and trust between two beings. I'm truly moved. They remind me of why I began working for so long. They bring me hope. Back on Earth, Blank, my son, and Blank's parents have been blessed with another little girl. They've already run tests, and she has none of the genetic markers to link to Blank's condition. All this is welcome news. The end of this commentary I was received was loud and clear. I must save Blank. I must get my family back. Blank, you are the key to it all. However, it wasn't for long before tragedy finally struck. Entry 670? 706? My worst fears come true. The Gizoid has developed enough propagating technology as it started to go out of control. The resulting damage led to the destruction of most of the Ark. I deciphered the rest of the stone tablet. It says, when Gizoid learned all that it could, it becomes a god of wrath, and all was destroyed. The researchers somehow managed to subdue the Gizoid and steal it away. Luckily, I only have Blank 1 installed. If I were to have all 7 installed, it might destroy the whole planet. The Gizoid is too much of a liability. I tried destroying its core, but nothing I did blech. I just tried destroying its core, but nothing I did worked. I understand a little too little of the technology that built him. My best hope is to try to reprogram its AI to a free-willed, emotion-based AI. Entry Blank. I've lost track of the days. Not very scientific of me. I'm strange. Something has to give. The Gizoid's rampage caused the artificial chaos to behave erratically. I attempted to regain network control by inventing the polarity of the Blank text smears illegible, so instead they became violent. Blank raced across the Earth, pacifying them with quite regularly, but the damage is done. An SOS was sent to Blink automatically. I dread the lowest rebranding I have to endure next. The tragedy aboard the Ark was the Gizoid finally going out of control. And a lot of illegible wording. A herald of the past, I dug out Gizoid. Any alternate life form created my own Blink. I kept both weapons of a heart. If all powers were not to what is obtained for oneself, but what is born from the hearts that yearn for someone, I believe all conflicts cease to exist. Please, if there's anyone listening to my players, bring hope to humanity. I don't quite know what went wrong. What happened? Or what went wrong? Was it a mistake to create the ultimate life form? I thought it would be something that would benefit mankind. But then the military cards landed on the colony that day. They were sent to destroy the research project I've been working on. My colleagues at the research facility, my granddaughter, Blank. I hope you're all safe. The colony was completely shut down, probably to keep the prototype from falling into the wrong hands. The Ark was shut down on the premise that there had been an accident. And the tragedy finally strikes. I found Blink's name among those who died aboard the Ark was shut down. She meant everything to me, and I couldn't bear the thought that she had died because of my research. I lost everything. I had nothing left to live for. I went insane. All I could think about was to avenge her. Somehow, someway, I got scared. I was no longer able to control my thoughts. All I could think about was that I wanted it all to end based on my original projections. I was able to complete my project. Blank. I designed its mind to be perfect, pure. I'll leave everything to him if you wish. Release and awaken it to the world if you wish to fill the world of destruction. And, of course, that last entry was originally made from SA2. And at the last picture, you can see a portrait of Shadow, Maria, and Gerald. The blank that he was talking about is Maria. Her illness, neuroimmunity deficiency syndrome. And this technically was Eggman's book, but regardless of that, the journal itself has a lot of intel of what Gerald was thinking about and what he went through. The only information we had before of Gerald's diary was one entry back then in SA2. I'll play it right now.
I don't quite know what happened or what went wrong. Was it a mistake to create the ultimate life form? I thought it would be something that would benefit mankind, but then the military guards landed on the colony that day. They were sent to destroy the research project that I had been working on. My colleagues at the research facility, my granddaughter, Maria, I hope you are all safe. The colony was completely shut down, probably to keep the prototype from falling into the wrong hands.
The Ark was shut down under the premise that there had been an accident. I found Maria's name among those who died when the Ark was shut down. She meant everything to me, and I couldn't bear the thought that she died because of my research. I lost everything. I had nothing more to live for. I went insane. All I could think about was to avenge her. Somehow, some way. I got scared as I no longer was able to control my thoughts. All I could think about was that I wanted it all to be based on my original projections. I was able to complete my project, Shadow. I designed its mind to be perfect, pure. I will leave everything to him. If you wish, release and awaken it
If
to
you
the
wish
world.
to fill the world with destruction,
That only talks about like several things about the incident and research which destroyed the Ark. And unfortunately, everything happened. Despite the fact that in the white space you can see Gerald and Maria, they're gone. One from being executed, the other a tragic loss of life. But with that, that is the last thing in Sonic X Shadow Generations. That is the last thing of and now we're finally done with Shadow Generations and Sonic Generations. There is nothing left in both games. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time for the next game. It will be taking a 2-week break before we get to the next Let's Play. So, see you all next time.